Hey everybody, welcome to Dad, Daughters, and Drinks, where you'll always get at least two of those three. Today, a new Ren song has dropped called Money Ties. Likes talking about money. So no time for a long introduction, let's just go ahead and get started.
Godliness with contentment is great gain, for we brought nothing.
Godliness with contentment is great gain. Okay.
Godliness with contentment is great gain, for we brought nothing into the world, and we cannot take anything out of the world. But if we have food and clothing, with these we will be content. But those who desire to be rich fall into temptation, into a snare, into many senseless and harmful desires that plunge people into ruin and destruction. For the love of money is a root of all kinds of evils. It is through this craving that some have wandered away.
A lot of people say, money is the root of all evil. And of course, in the Bible, it does say the love of money is the root of evil. Now, this has kind of a feeling of being like biblical, but I don't think this is directly straight out of the Bible. Bible inspired, maybe. Ren's view on all of the biblical things and different religions, right? But interesting. So this is starting off with, we can be content with what we have when it's just enough, right? But you can see where this is going already.
Money is a root of all kinds of evils. It is through this craving that some have wandered away from the path and pierced themselves with the many pangs of greed.
Money makes the world go round. Money makes a pure man lawless, proud. Money makes a man's verb consummate the noun. Cause an action to a thing is inspired by the pound or the dollar.
Wait, what was that?
Verb consummate the noun. Money makes a pure man lawless, proud. Money makes a man's verb consummate the noun. Cause an action to a thing is inspired by the pound or the dollar. False prophet preach profit and we follow. When the scholar teach dishonor, that's a bit the pill to swallow. The biggest bank robber are the banks and the polar. Is inspired by the pound or the dollar. False prophet preach profit and we follow. When the scholar teach.
Did he say the prophet breeds profit?
Is inspired by the pound or the dollar. False prophet preach profit and we follow. When the
dollar for the profit breeds profit?
thing is inspired by the pound or the dollar. False prophet preach profit and we follow.
Something like that. Dollar fills the profit, dollar for the profit, something. I think it's just play on words there of profit and profit, which is a really interesting thing because in the beginning, like I said, there's this almost biblical sounding, monologue that was essentially saying, like, if you have what you need, you should be good. And that's kind of a biblical thing, right? Look at the birds. They don't, care about tomorrow and all that stuff, right? Love of money is the root of all evil. But now he's actually not only tying it to we as people want more than we need, but he's tying it into the religions, because that's one thing a lot of people have trouble with religions, especially these like super mega churches with the really rich pastors and everybody else, is that the religious leaders oftentimes get tied together with greed and everything as well, when they should be the ones who are not doing that and should be leading by example.
Action to a thing is inspired by the pound or the dollar. False prophet preach profit and we follow. When the scholar teach dishonor, that's a bit the pill to swallow. The biggest bank robber are the banks and the politicians, but judiciary are whores. The biggest bank robber are the banks and the politicians, but judiciary.
It's always interesting when he does those rhymes in the middle of half words there, right? Like he had the Paula and then followed up with Titians later. He did that a lot, I think, in The Hunger as well. And King Call Me Arthur kind of thing.
The pill to swallow. The biggest bank robber are the banks and the politicians, but judiciary are whores. What a shock when we lose sight of live and let live.
There's so many interesting things happening vocally. It's almost never just him like singing. There's sometimes really high parts accompanying, sometimes low parts, and it's jumping back and forth. And I think that's what's causing me to sometimes not be able to follow exactly what's going on vocally. I have a hard enough time understanding lyrics, even when they're simple and clear.
Politicians, but judiciary.
Like even politicians is like Prussians, right?
The biggest bank robber are the banks and the politicians, but judiciary are whores. What a shock when we lose. lose sight of live and let live. Forget your soul is made much richer by the love that you give. If you're living just to make a living, that's all that is. And when you're lying, slowly dying, will you die with a grin? Now dig in to make a living. And the politicians, but judiciary are whores. What a shock when we lose. Robber are the banks and the politicians, but judiciary are whores. What a shock when we lose sight of live and let live. Forget your soul is made much richer by the love that you give. If you're living just to make a living, that's all that is. And when you're lying, slowly dying, will you die with a grin? Now digging up.
That kind of harkens back to Life is Funny, right? He says, when you die, will there be tears full of fear, or will you die with a smile?
The root of evil, that's all that is. And when you're lying, slowly dying, will you die with a grin? Now digging up the root of evil, money too like a blade. You can slice across the jugular or carve and create. But when the money ain't the means, but the means is the money, you start to cut jugular or carve and create. But when
Norwegian Wood lyrics. Interesting.
the money ain't the means, but the means is the money, you start to compromise ideals for dollars, morals get bloody. Now let me tell you a little story about a boy named Bren. Born March 1990 in the Celtic Welsh ends. We didn't have much, but mum and dad, they made enough to put hot meals on the table, fill our bellies full of love. A little sister fell into the picture. Oh my God, we loved her, made our family richer. Then we both got older, world a little colder. Life, it had a way of chipping away at that shoulder. I held her and I told her, hierarchy, status exists. Sometimes the purity of youth gets snatched, leaving you stripped. You'll learn that love is not enough, it's not a world for a kid. So toughen up and buckle up, because it's bumpy as shit. And there'll be those who take advantage of the light in your soul. And there'll be times you...
Boy, this is really sad. Dang. And you know, it's one of those things where, especially with kids, you want to protect their innocence as long as you can. But at the same time, you want to prepare them for what's probably going to be a very harsh world. And it's got to be difficult to be not the parent who's having to teach another, kid, right? Because it sounds like he was still young when this kind of conversation happened, right? That's tough.
Because it's bumpy as shit. And there'll be those who take advantage of the light in your soul. And there'll be times you feel the cup you're filling leaking with holes. And that dark can get much darker, we all must grow old. But listen up, my little sister, hold these words to your close. Keep that kind heart kind, humankind are in need. Never ever let this world make you bitter like me. Because this world needs love, and love it leads.
That's really sad. Never let it make you bitter like me.
Never ever let this world make you bitter like me. Because this world needs love, and love it leaks from you, see. Sis, this world needs light, and you're the brightest I see.
It's interesting that this, I don't know if it's the exact same piano part, but it's very similar, and the flow and the melody is very similar to the kind of the piano part of Cujo Breakdown, which clearly has a completely different kind of feel or purpose to the whole song, right?
World need humankind are in need. My little sister, hold these words to your close. Keep that kind heart kind, humankind are in need. Never ever let this world make you bitter like me. Because this world needs love, and love it leaks from you, see. Sis, this world needs light, and you're the brightest I see.
Yeah, it's not the same piano part, but it's the same kind of vocal flow and melody flow.
World needs love, and love it leaks from you, see. Sis, this world needs light, and you're the brightest I see. I see your wings have feather more than ever. Mine were torn by my oppressor. Sickness scorn me, but whatever. By your side we fly together. Give me flight when I could never. A releasing of the pressure, and the pressure makes a diamond. I will shine with you forever. Fuck greed, fuck depression, fuck bullies, fuck the jealous. Fuck every man who made you feel less than a treasure. And fuck a world that makes us feel small. Fuck the forces that divide us. Now's the time to stand tall. Because money makes the world go round. Money makes the sick boy sicker somehow. Money gets a man mug punched in his mouth. Money run the gang thug, drug money plow. Money makes open case close. Money bend love, make war, make goals. Money gives a poor man hope. Money saves lives, takes lives. Money both. Money is.
It's interesting, there's always a lot of discussion about capitalism and the evils of capitalism. And then there's usually people who talk about the good of capitalism. And of course, it's all largely true, right? It's one of those things where there's always going to be bad in this situation. There's no solution that doesn't have bad in some way. So the thing you really look for is kind of the solution that has the least amount of evil. What you think that is, that's a completely different ballgame. but he does probably more in his interviews than in his music talk about the good that can come from, money and capitalism and things, when it's not tied together with greed, right? That tends to be the line that people cross from, I'm working hard and I deserve what I'm getting, to I'm going to go out of my way to try and earn a lot of money in, immoral ways, and I'm not going to care about other people and the human condition in general, and I'm just out for myself. And that's really that line that gets crossed, that's problematic.
Man, hoes. Money bend love, make war, make goals. Money gives a poor man hope. Money saves lives, takes lives, money both. Money isn't, money's just that. Money's just a concept, people are trying. Tax up the poor man, feed up the fire. Money's just cash. Take money, take money, take money, take. Fake money, fake money, fake money, fake. Money ties, money ties, money ties, ayy. Money lies, money lies, money lies, ayy.
I kind of dig. I didn't really notice this going on. I don't know if this was kind of intentional.
Money's just a concept, people are trying. Tax up the poor man.
But the hat kind of gives you a feeling of like somebody who doesn't have a ton of money.
Feed up the fire. Money's just cash.
And then when he takes it off, he just almost has more of like a businessman look with the tie and the jacket and everything. And I think the hat's the only difference between them, but it does almost make it seem like he's doing both sides of the coin here.
Take money, take money, take. Fake money, fake money, fake money, fake. Money ties, money ties, money ties, ayy. Money lies, money lies, money lies, ayy.
Hey. No people, no profit. Another final wordplay. Almost brings me back to thinking about like no woman, no cry. Very, very fascinating song. I'm going to have to go back and listen to that a whole bunch of times. Man, it's always so good. Always makes you think. Anybody that puts music out that makes you think is already doing A-OK in my book. The fact that I always love his, his voice, his flows, his wordplay, the message he's trying to convey is always a positive one, almost always. But wow, definitely makes you think. Anyway, my wife keeps calling, so I'm going to wrap it up here. Thanks everybody for watching. I'll have a link in the comments. I hope you're all doing great, and I'll see you all on the next one.